Alright, this is day 2 of learning game dev. Let's just hop right into it.
Hi everyone, today we're going to be finishing off this mini project by adding in a game over screen. Before we get to that though, let's just make so that these falling blocks destroy themselves once they sort of fall off the bottom of the screen. So if we go into the spawner class,
What? I literally already did that. I literally already did that? Okay. So I can just skip this part? Nice. Okay, is my browser crashing? Okay, where did I do that? I did that here? No, I did that here. Despawn range Y, I believe, which is equal to times negative 2f, so it's negative. So this is what? Camera's half size. I don't really know what this means. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still a little confused on that, but it doesn't matter. I already did it. Basically, the point is I already did it.
consider that we figured out that half the screen height in world units is simply the main camera's orthographic size. So if we copy that and go into the falling blocks class, we can create a float variable called something like the visible height threshold. So that visible height threshold will be equal to negative half the screen height minus the block's own size, which is just transform.localscale.y. Then in the update method, we can just do a check to see if the block's position has fallen below that visible height threshold. So if transform.position on the y-axis is less than the visible height threshold, then we want to destroy the falling block. So we can simply say destroy game object. So if we save that now, then we want to destroy the falling block. So we
What? Oh, since it's half. Why did I do 2? I didn't need to do 2. Like this could maybe I could just do negative. Negative that. Right? Maybe. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. Wow, let's get it. So because it's half, because it basically is this here. Like this value is equal to this y value right here, I'm thinking. I think. Uh-huh. Transform.position.y. Yep, that's what I did. Is less than, yeah. But why does he need to do this? Oh, I think I know why. I mean, it's gonna disappear before it even, yeah. That's why I did the negative 2. So he does it a little bit more precisely, but I don't really care. So I'm just gonna leave it as it was. Okay. Transform.localscale.y.
if just transform dot will be equal to negative half the screen height minus the block's own size, which is just transform.localscale.y. Then in the update method, we
Minus the block's own size. Hmm. But like, oh, because I mean, it's the same. So it's just taking this transform.localScale.size. Even though you could do X or Y or Z, it doesn't really matter. I guess Z doesn't matter either. Um, you could do X or Y, I guess, because X would be this and Y would be that, I think. So it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter, but whatever.
We can just do a check to see if the block's position has fallen below that visible height threshold. So if transform.position on the y-axis is less than the visible height threshold, then we want to destroy the falling block.
Did I
So we
do
can simply say destroy
the
game
right
object.
one?
So if we save that now and play, we should see that as this falls off the screen, the object gets destroyed. All right, so now for the game over screen, let's go to the game object menu and add a canvas as well as a text element. And if we just zoom out a bit, we can drag this text element up somewhere near
Wow.
the top of our canvas. And let's just center align this text and change it to read something like game over. There's a text element. For the game over screen, let's go to the game object menu and add a canvas as well as a text element. And if we just
Sure. Why not? Okay, I'll just do this. Why not?
zoom out a bit, we can drag this text element up somewhere near the top of our canvas. And let's just center align this text and
Oh, it auto, what is it? Auto airs, auto hierarchies. It auto, descends. I don't know, bro. Okay, this is way too large. Can I not? What? Okay.
change it to read something like game over. And we can also increase the font size. You'll see once it becomes too big for the bounding box, it just disappears. So let's resize the bounding box. Now, you'll see that if we change the size of the screen, the size of the UI doesn't change with it, which is a little bit frustrating. So what we can do is go into the canvas, and instead of having it set to a constant pixel size,
Whoa, 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 whoa. My camera's all the way down here. Why would I... What? Why do I have to scroll all the way up here? Okay, can I do this? No. No, I can't. 366 and what? Why can't I move this? Why can't I move it? What the fudge? That's jank. I'm sorry, that's jank as fudge. Whatever. Got him. Nice. Increase that, baby. Increase that. This is so jank, bro. Why would anyone use this? Bro, this is so troll. Like, this is a Unity troll, bro. Unity troll system.
we can tell it to scale with the screen size. So now if we just, instead of having it set to a constant pixel size, we can tell it to scale with the screen size.
Nice.
So now if we just resize this once again, get it how we want.
Okay, why didn't you just tell me to... Whatever. Whatever, bro. Oh, actually, I can just do this. Then I can just... Whoa, baby.
We want it, let's say something like that, and maybe make this a nice bright white. Now if we
Sure. W w why not?
change the size of the screen, you can see it scales along with it. We might also want a custom font, so let's go into our materials folder and just drag something in. I'll use something called mockup and just drag that into the font slot over there. Let's now go into our text object and let's rename this heading. Drag that into the... So let's go into our materials folder and just drag something in.
He just has it. He just has it on hand, bro. It's just right there. It's just right there on his other monitor.
I'll use something called mockup.
Okay, flex on us, bro.
Font slot over there. Let's now go into our text object and let's rename this heading. And then if we just duplicate that with Command D, we can drag it down and let's make this a little bit smaller and have this read something like press space to play again. All right.
Okay. I just click Control G. Hopefully that didn't do anything. You know what? That is not what I am meaning to do. Why does that keep doing that? Okay, duplicate. We got more text. Poggers. This one is Ring Dong. This one is Bing Bong. This one is... Sure, I know he's just gonna say press space to restart. To start again, or whatever he says. I don't know. Bam, boom, bam, bop. Then he changes it to gray or something.
We need to be even smaller than that. And
to play again. He already did it.
So it's not stealing attention away from the heading.
Okay.
And we can just call this our play again instruction.
Why not?
And then let's duplicate this, drag it down here. We're going to want to display the number of seconds that the player survived for. So let's say
I like blue.
Seconds survived, colon, and then make another text element, which is
very harsh on the eyes. That is very harsh on my eyes. I like orange. That's fine. Nice. Let's get that bing bong. Let's get that ring dong. You know what? Let's do a red.
Why not? Going to display the number of seconds, but in very large text. So I'm going to make this bounding box nice and big and scale this up to be quite enormous. Let's see how well this fits on, say, with... drag it down here. Play again instruction. Other than that, maybe we can just call this our play again instruction. And then let's duplicate this, drag it down here. We're going to want to display the number of seconds that the player survived for. Make another text element, which is just going to display the number of seconds.
Sure. This is so troll though, bro. This is my game down here. Right down here. Why do I have to do this? Like, that is such a troll Unity feature. I'm in disbelief. I'm in disbelief at how troll it is. To be honest. I'm just gonna set it to 0 for now. I mean, like, there's sort of no point in, uh, in setting it to anything right now because I'm going to get I'm gonna set it to the amount of time that had passed anyway. Okay, now this one is gonna be a nice. Sure, it's gonna be an even redder red. Sure, why not? This one is gonna be, sure, very harsh on the eyes. I love it.
But in very large texts, I'm going to make this bounding box nice and big and scale this up to be quite enormous. Let's see how well this fits on, say, with 3 characters. That looks good. I'll maybe make it a tiny bit smaller. And we can change this color to maybe a...
You know what? I am gonna make mine bigger. Perfect.
nice red. All right. Something like that looks pretty good. Probably want to make this second survived heading a little bit brighter. Maybe like that. Let's
I
just
don't
rename
care.
these things. I'll call this the seconds survived heading.
I'm gonna technically need to. Restart. You know, I can just do game over. Sure, seconds survived. Survived. Poggers. Then we got seconds. Secondins. Seconds. Close, but not quite.
And this just simply seconds survived. All right, so if we just quickly enter play mode, I quite like it that once the game ends, the blocks continue falling in the background. It just adds some sort of visual interest to the game over screen. But with them as bright as they are, it can be a little bit distracting.
Sure. Insane.
So what we might do is add a transparent background to our game over screen. So let's just go up here and add a image element.
What?
And if we just resize this to fill the screen, currently it's rendering on top of everything else, and we can just change that by moving it up in the hierarchy. And then let's make this entirely black and just tone down the opacity a little bit. So if we play now, we can still see the falling blocks, but it's not as distracting. Let's also put all of these elements under a single object so that we can easily enable and disable them. So let's just create an empty child of the canvas and call this our game over screen. And we can just grab all of these and parent them to the game over screen object. We're going to create a game over.
Okay, fair enough. Empty child. It's empty. The child is empty. Hollow, even, you might even say. Sure. Wait, can I? Okay, wait. How do I do this? Shift? No. No. How did he do that?
Them of the canvas and call it so that we can easily game over. And we can just grab all of these and parent them.
Ah, that's how I forgot. I in fact forgot.
To the game over screen object.
Why did that
We're
mess
going to
up?
create a game over.
Why did that mess up? What? In the world? What in the world just happened? Whatever. Whatever. Can I move you? May I please move you? Why did it change? Why did the... Okay. I have a feeling that is not good. So I will get rid of this. And now I will put all of this back. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Why did you mess up? Okay.
The script, and that script is going to have three tasks. First of all, when the player dies, it's going to enable the little game over screen that we created, and secondly, it's going to set the second survived to the correct value. Finally, it's going to see if the spacebar is pressed down, and if it is, then it's going to reload the scene so that the game can be played once again. So let's head over to our scripts folder, and let's create a new C# script. I'm going to call this game over.
Okay, I believe I can do this on my own, maybe? Perhaps? You know what's, you know what I love? I love that if you just create a new script and you just leave it like that, then it has new behavior. Then it has public class new behavior, and if you change the name, then you have to change the class name as well. I love that. That is just so superb. Why the fudge would they not have it done automatically? That's my real question. Like, at least have a confirmation box pop up. Like, you know, hey, your script name is different from your class name now. Do you want to change it? Like, it's not that difficult. Okay, here we go. We're gonna attach this to the canvas. Beautiful. Then we're going to then we're going to set. Is there a set button? Seconds? Set text equal to okay, I have to if it's destroyed, how do I do that? Actually, I don't know how to do that. If player if game object, I have to find it? Oh, no, no, no. I have to do public game object. Yep, public game object player. That's one thing. And then I have to do if game object up. If it's destroyed, on collision. If it's no longer there, wait. Oh, do I actually just copy this? Let me see if I remember that. I don't want to copy it. Void? I don't know why I'm putting so much effort into this, bro. I'm not even going to use Unity. Unity. On collision enter? On collision enter 2D. This one is going to be a... what? I guess I'll just make this killer. Why not? Player killer. Oh, wait. I gotta look. Private void on trigger enter. If I make this public, can I do... Can I do... What? Player controller dot on trigger enter 2D? Can I do that? Yes, yes. I think I can. I think I can. If I make this public, this is so maybe not correct. Then I can do if... Sure. Then I can do if player... No. No, if on... No, no. Oh, I can find it. Wait, I can find it, right? That just seems like my solution to everything. Uh, wait, I can just do... Uh, actually, I can just do fudging... Do I have to do bool? Yeah, public bool, not bool. Not public. Bool? Okay, I'm coughing so much. Okay, we got bool. Bool is player dead equals Hmm. Game object dot find game object dot find um oh no. Game object dot find player. Sorry, player dot get component. What did I do before? I got a variable on. Can I return true here? Return true? Does it not? Returns void. Oh, it returns void. Do I have to return void? What is the other thing besides void? You know what? I'm gonna make it so it doesn't return void. Public bool. Not all code paths return a value. Oh. Okay, so then I do return false. Here. Return false. Oh, I could do else. Sorry. Else. Return false. Is this big brain? Am I actually, is this big brain, bro? False dot equals, no. Return false. This seems excessive. Wait, what? This is always going to be true. You know what? It doesn't make a difference. It does not make a single difference. That's fine. And if I make this public, okay, I will just get component player controller, and then I will just do, on, on trigger enter 2D. I will do, collider 2D. That's not impossible. Okay, I'm thinking maybe it is just easier to do player controller dot on collision, don't destroy unload. Hmm. Can I? How do I get this? On trigger enter 2D. Hmm. So what did I get before? I got the hazard controller speed. I got a speed variable. Wait. Is player dead? No. Method must have a return type. It does. Can I not name this? Uh, public bool. Hmm. Wait, can I? Wait. You know what? Oh, I have to say private. Private bool. Okay. Maybe I can do this. Is player dead? Public. I make this public. And then I do uh equals on trigger enter. Hmm. What did he do in the previous thing? Oh, I don't need to return true, actually. I don't need to do any of this. I can just do this. It's so easy. Private bool, no private void. Then I can set is player dead equal to true. It's so easy. It's so easy. Then I just do uh if is play I'm so good. I'm so good. If this is not correct. If is player dead? No. Sorry, I have to get it first. If game object dot find dot, can I do dot find um dot find player? Can I not do player? Player. Sorry. Player dot get component player controller um is player dead? Oh baby, this is so easy. Easy. Okay. If that's true, then you make it visible. How do I make it visible? Uh, is there not? Can I not? What? Can I... What? This has to be... Um... So I could either make this a... I could either just move this away. I would prefer to make it transparent, but I don't know how to do that. Game object, 2D object, sprites, square, circle, what? Audio, video, no. UI, image. So this has the transparency. This has transparency. How did he do that?
Press down, and if it is, then it's going to reload this. Let's also put all of these elements under a single object so that we can easily enable and disable them. So let's just create an empty child of the canvas and call this our game over screen. And we can just grab all of these and parent them to the game over screen object. We're going to create a game, the little child of the canvas, and go, currently it's rendering on top of everything else, and we can just change that by moving it up in the hierarchy. And then let's make this entirely black and just tone down the opacity a little bit. So if we play now,
Okay, that's it right there, but it's not an image. Why did I make that? Why did I close that? Okay, this is not an image. Hmm. How can I toggle active state? What? Oh, okay. Yeah, so I can just... Yes, yes. I can just, game object. Actually, how do I destroy again? Destroy game object. So then I can do toggle game object. No, destroy. What is this called? Show only methods. So create primitive. Don't destroy. Instantiate reference fetch. Um, I don't remember. All right. This is... How do I toggle this? It's going to be toggled up by default. Um, okay, and that is just right there. Okay, toggle active state. Toggle active state. Hmm. Toggle active state. How to toggle active state in a script in Unity. This was 9 years ago. You're setting the boolean to false, then checking if it's false, which it is because you just made it false, and setting back to true. However, you don't need to do any of that. You can just set the state to the opposite value. Function on mouse down. Debug.log toggle. What? Is that actually it? No, that's... What? Is there anything in the database with the word toggle? Switch. Why does he have a switch function? What? Dot. Why can't I do debug.log? Debug.log. Oh, I can. Never mind. I can toggle off my flashlight. What? Is that active? Is that it? Um, set active? False. Nice. Poggers did it. Amazing. Actually, sorry, true. This is true. Nice. Thank you. So now let's check it. Actually, do I have everything? Yep. That didn't do a single thing. That didn't do a single thing. Is player dead equals true? Public bool. Is player dead? That should... Uh, okay, I'm just gonna do a little debugging here. Is this, does that, hey, time to add the most useless code ever. Okay, let's try it now. And why is it printing 8 now? I don't want it to print 8. uh, print is player dead. Print, print. I thought I got rid of that. Hmm. Cancel, print. What? Oh, I don't need this. Nice. Fixed it. Okay, now let's get it. Why is it not? You know, I could just watch the tutorial and be done with this very quickly, but I'm stubborn. But I'm stubborn, so on collision. Okay, bro. What the fu- Hmm. Hmm. Is this seriously not like? Does this seriously not work? It just stops. It just. Oh, that's what. That's why. That's why it does that. Okay. Because the object is destroyed. Okay. So really, really, I just need to find a way to detect if there is an object. You know what? Does that work? Is it that easy? This player dead does not exist in the current. What? It doesn't exist anymore. Oh, there you go. Never mind. You know, I will leave this here as a reminder. I will never use Unity again when I'm done with this course, by the way. Oh, actually, I want to do this. Actually, it should be very apparent to me. Bam. No. Okay. If if I can't find it, huh? I don't think I saved. I don't think I saved it. So this should be, if it's false. No. Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
We can still see the falling blocks, but it's not as distracting. Let's also put all of these elements under a single object so that we can.
If game object offline. I need to check if it's there or not. I don't know how to do that.
We can easily enable and disable them. So let's just create a empty child of the canvas and call this our game over screen.
Also, I don't
When
know
the player
why he
dies, it's going
doesn't
to
just do that
enable
for the
the little game over
canvas.
screen that we created. Going to see if the spacebar is pressed down, and if it is, then it's going to reload the scene script, and it can be played once again. So let's head over to our scripts folder, and let's create a new C# script. I'm going to call this game over. All right, and let's just create a little empty game object
I
somewhere in
feel
our
like
scene.
you could
Call
do this in less
this
scripts.
the game over manager, and add the game over script to that. If we just open this up, in order to achieve the first task, we're going to need a reference to our game over screen object. So let's just create a little public game object, call this game over screen. All right, and then we're going to need to know when the game is over. So let's create a method called onGameOver.
Please don't tell me. That's all I forgot to do. No, because I put it on the. What?
Over. And when that method is called, we'll simply say game over screen dot set active true. So that will enable the object. Game over when the game is over screen, method called onGameOver. And when that method is called, we'll simply say game over screen dot set active true. So that will enable the object.
But why can't that just seems overly complex? Why make a public game object? Why make a public game object? Why not just put it whatever? Sure. Sure, and then I can just, yes. Sure, on game over. This is also a static void. Why? What? Okay. E? What? It was letting me do it before. Okay. Sure. I'll just do it, Jose. What in the world? Game over screen. An object reference. No way.
Object. Then, to set the number of seconds survived to the correct value, we're going to need to get a reference to that text object. And in order to get access to the UI text, we're going to have to use the namespace unityengine.ui. This will allow us to create a public text variable. We can call this our seconds survived UI.
Okay. Okay, sure. Yeah, I should probably just speed through this course and learn
And
learn
then on
Godot.
game over, we'll say second survived UI.text, and we'll just want to set that to the amount of time that has passed, so time.time. Now, this needs to be set to a string, and time.time is, of course, a float value. So in order to convert it to a string, we can just say dot to string. All right, now if we save and go into Unity.
Of course, perfect. I did know about that. I did. Sure. Seconds survive. Seconds. Why do you not let me do that? I know I can do it. Set text. Sorry, dot text. And then I have to set it equal. And isn't this a float? Yeah, I don't really... Actually... Yeah, isn't this a float? So isn't this gonna give me like a... Like a decimal? Like a number with a decimal? Okay, whatever. Whatever. Hello? Can I not? What? It's... An object reference is required. Yeah, I want to put it here, bro. Isn't it? What the f... Okay.
In order to convert it to a string, we can just say dot to string. All right, now if we save and go into Unity, we'll see these two slots have appeared over here. So let's just go and drag the game over screen onto our game over screen field.
What? Why do I have to... Honestly, I may as well just put it on the camera. Why not? And why? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Why did I put it on the spawner? Why don't I have it? Why don't I have it there now?
We'll see these two slots have appeared over here.
I have it saved. Public game object, public text. It should be here. Am I tripping? Hmm.
All right.
Am I tripping? What is going on? Do I actually have to create an empty game object? No. No. No, I don't. I don't know what's going on. An object reference is required. Correct? So true? Public game object. Public game object.
All right, now if we say .text, we're going to have to use the namespace unityengine.u.
Public game object. Public float rate of fire. Public float hazard speed. Public game object hazard. It's right there. What? Is that the problem, really? Why did I do that? Thank you. I hate it when that happens. Was that actually it? Okay, I want it to go on the canvas. No, I want it, yeah, yes. What? Okay. Why does that do that? Static. An object reference is required for the non-static field, method, or property. I guess I'm misunderstanding.
UI. This will allow us to create a public text variable. We can call this our second game over screen field and the second survive text into our second survived UI. Let's also then make the game over screen be disabled by default. All right. Then to achieve the third task, let's have a bool to say whether or not the game is currently over. So when the onGameOver method is called, we'll say gameOver is now true. And then in the update method, we can say if the game is over, then we're going to be watching out for the space key to be pressed down. And if that's pressed down, we're going to want to reload the scene. In order to reload the scene, we're going to need access to the scene manager. So once again, we need to add a new namespace up here using Unity Engine .scene management. This allows us to say scene manager
Yeah,
dot.
I'm actually wondering how helpful this course is. Like, if I'm not going to use Unity, is this even useful to me? Maybe I should just watch this and not actually do anything? Like, yeah, maybe I just need to watch this and not actually type anything. I'll type it anyway. Whatever. Sure, then we do this. Wait, what? Input.get key down. Isn't there another COVID? Oh. No, isn't there a input on key on mouse down, mouse over on key mouse up? Wait, what? There's on mouse down, drag, enter, exit over, up, but there's not a key? What? Are you kidding me? I don't believe that. On key pressed, built in, please can I? Built in method Unity? Like, I know you could just make it. Um, on mouse down in Unity, but for key presses? What? On mouse down for buttons in Unity.
So in this video, we'll be talking about how you can add the
What? Sorry, I get distracted pretty easily here. Is there not an on? What? Void on. On destroy? Really? I guess. Sure. On mouse. Surely, bro. That just seems like an oversight. That seems like a computational oversight there. Wouldn't that just save a lot more time if you just do like input, like on input, and then you know, on input, like on input down, and then you just do like A or something? Like that just seems a lot faster computationally. Whatever, I guess.
load scene, and we can load it either with its name or with its index. So we'll just want to load the first scene, so with an index of 0.
Okay, bool, game over. I'm basically just copying by this point. Game over equals true, void update if game over. If game over, then bing bong, and then it's a nested one. Sure. If input dot get key down, get key down. I love how it doesn't reset every single time. That's great. Get key down, space bar. Whoops, key code space, key code space. Then you scene manager. Okay, yeah, this is like wow. I hope Godot is easier, actually. Unity engine dot scene. I don't even think I finished typing engine, but that's fine. Scene manager. I don't know why this isn't always built in. Like, does it really save that much processing power or speed? Like, these shouldn't have to be, I shouldn't have to import these, right? Sure. Okay.
So let's save that. And in order to be able to load the scene,
Then we do player controller, then we do on destroy. No, then we do okay, sorry for the cough in the ear. Then we do on game over. Can this even work? Can we do using Unity engine dot game over? No. What happens if I delete this? Poggers.
We're going to need to go up to File, Build Settings, and here we've got the scenes active in our build, and we can just go into our scenes folder and drag the current scene there. And you can see it's got index 0, so that's the one that will be loaded.
What the fuck?
Go into our scenes folder and drag the, and here we've got the scene. In order to be able to load the scene, we're going to need to go up to File, Build.
Surely there's an easier way to do this. I mean, wow, bro. I don't have it. It's not even
Settings, and here we've got the scenes active in our build, and we can just go into our scenes folder and...
Oh, I do. Never mind. Nice.
Drag the current scene there, and you can see it's got index 0, so that's the one that will be loaded. Now, this is all going to work fantastically, but currently the onGameOver method isn't called from anywhere.
Insane.
Now, the easiest way to resolve this would be to simply make the method public, and then head over to the player script, and just before we destroy the player object, we could do a little find object of type search for an object of type gameOver, and just call the onGameOver method on that. Now, this would work. We can go into Unity, press play, and if we get ourselves destroyed by a block, then the game over screen appears. But as I spoke about in episode 12 on script communication, this isn't a very good practice because the player script doesn't really have any relationship to the game over script, so it's strange having a reference to it over here. The solution I proposed in episode 12 is to use an event. So if you remember how to do this, we can just come up here, create a public event, system.action, and we can call this something like onPlayerDeath. And then before we destroy the game object, we can say if the onPlayerDeath event is not null, then we're going to invoke it by saying onPlayerDeath followed by a pair of parentheses, just like a regular method call.
What? Okay, and then you set the onPlayerDeath equal to true? No, you have to still find it.
Now over in the gameOver class, the onGameOver method no longer needs to be public, and in the start method, we're going to want to get a reference to the player controller. So we can say find object of type player controller, and we'll say onPlayerDeath plus equals onGameOver.
What?
We're in the gameOver object, we can say death followed by a pair of parentheses, just like a regular.
Okay, that just seems excessive. You're still doing
regular method call. Now over in the gameOver class, the onGameOver method no longer needs to be public, and in the start method,
you're still
we're going to want to get a
finding
reference
it.
to the player controller. So we can say find object of type player controller, and we'll say onPlayerDeath plus equals onGameOver. If you don't remember this notation, I recommend you have another look at episode 12, but this is simply subscribing the onGameOver method to the onPlayerDeath event.
But this just... You're still finding it. I don't get this. I don't get this guy. That just seems unnecessary. Oh, they don't have any relation. Okay, well... Yeah, I get that you're creating an event that you can use for anything. If onPlayerDeath does not equal null. Okay. E. Which means it's not going to... That's just... That, which is just like always. That's going to be always pretty much from the start. Okay. E. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to do that.
Parentheses. So it's strange having
I'm going
a
to do
reference.
the other one. I'm just going to do the other one. This is so much easier. Find an object of type. Okay, so I don't actually need this. What was the one I did before? I could just do find object of type spawner controller. Really? It was that easy. Okay. Spawner, and spawner. Obviously, it's going to be in the class name, but that's fine. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yep, set active. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, then I just do find object of type. Game over. Game over. Wait, what? I guess, yeah. Game over. Sorry, on game over. And why is this not working? Protection level. Due to its protection level. So it sets it to active. Then it shows the seconds survived. Then it does the true. Nice.
To it over here. In the game player controller, I on player death event. So run method, save, but this is simply subscribing the onGameOver method to the onPlayerDeath event. So if we now save, head back to Unity, you can see that this will work very nicely. I would just like to round the number of seconds survived to the nearest integer. So let's head over to the gameOver method and just use mathf.round to int on time.time and then convert that to a string.
Okay, sure. Why not?
There is one more problem. If I just survive for a little bit and now get myself killed, that was 6 seconds. If I play again and just die immediately, you can see it's 9 seconds. So it's clear that time.time is not resetting when we reload the scene. So instead what we want to use is time.time since level load. And
Easy.
And for the same reason, we'll want to go onto the difficulty class, and we'll want to use time since level load here as well, so that the difficulty actually resets instead of continuing where it was when you play again. So with that, this little project is actually difficulty actually.
Oh no. Yeah, I have to. Whoops. Oh, it's literally only this. Wait. Wow. Okay. Wait, my method is like just as good, actually. Technically. Yeah. I'm just as good. I'm just as good, and you can't say anything to change my mind. Okay.
Resets instead of continuing where it
I'm
was when
going a
you
little
play
nuts.
again. So with that, this little project is actually complete. I'm going to quickly ramp up the difficulty though, because it's a little bit boring in the opening stage load here as well, so that the difficulty actually resets instead of continuing where it was when you play again. So with that, this little project is actually complete. I'm going to quickly ramp up the difficulty though, because it's a little bit boring in the opening stages. So maybe make the maximum spawn time about 0.6. And then if we go on to the falling block prefab, can make the minimum speed maybe 10.5 and the maximum speed 13.5. Minimum spawn time, make the minimum speed maybe 10.5 and the maximum speed 13.5. Alright, let's quickly work on exporting our game. So if we go up to File, Build Settings, you can see that it's currently set to a Mac standalone build, which is exactly what I want. Let's go to Player Settings for some more options. Now, one thing we need to be aware of is that since we're exporting at this funny aspect ratio 3:5, we're not going to be able to allow the game to be played in full screen without doing some more advanced stuff, which I don't want to get into at the moment. So let's just disable the full screen switch, and let's also disable both the is native resolution and the default is full screen. So now we can enter our own default screen width and height.
I don't need
So
to do
we'll
any
make
of
that comply
this.
with the aspect ratio, something like 600 by 1000 perhaps. So if we just build this now, we'll see that it pops up with this, it's called
That's my name! That's my name!
the resolution dialog box, and our resolution isn't anywhere there, so if we press play now, it's not going to be playing in the correct resolution. So if we delete that, let's go back to the player settings, and let's just make sure that the resolution dialog is disabled. And let's just change our product name over here. I'll call mine Falling Blocks, and then we can build. And when that's done, it should open this up, and you can see it's in the correct resolution, and we can play our game.
Oh my.
So, it didn't survive very long there. Let me have one more go at it. The difficulty seems fairly good to start off with. Just one more, and we can and change our product name over here. I'll call mine
Build. Build and run. Insane, inhuman reactions. This is uncapped, actually, so... my difficulty is completely uncapped. Ugh, so, let's just... They're coming. They're coming fast. They're gonna start coming faster. Okay, wait, I'm not dying now. Why am I not dying? Object reference not set to an instance of an object. What? Object reference not set to an instance of an object. What? Object. What? Null exception. Wait. On trigger enter 2D. Unity engine dot collider. What? Comparing tags using is inefficient. Okay. Why is it not destroying though? CS43. Do I actually have to do... Now why did that F it up? Why does that F it up? Okay. I guess I'll just do it my way then. Get component. Game over. Dot on game over. Let's see if that works. No. It's not working. Why is it not working? It's somehow preventing this from happening. Why? But why is it doing that? Oh, let me think.
So 12, but this, and then before we destroy, so if action, and we can call this something like on player death, an event. It doesn't really have any relationship to the game over script, so it's strange having a reference to it over here. The solution I proposed in episode over script, so it's strange because the player script doesn't really have any relationship to the game over script, so it's strange having a reference to it over here.
You lied to me? But why does it do this? Object reference not set to an instance of an object. This should be... What? I just want to see if this works, even. Because it doesn't seem to work. What is going on?
Doesn't really have any relation well, and if we be on game object of then isn't called from anywhere.
What? Can I not make the canvas? Does that not work? Does it have to be a different... Why? Why does it have to be a different one? Why does it have to be a different one? Okay, whatever. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Okay. Yippee! Why does it have to be different? Why does it have to be different though? That just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, yeah. Let's do print rate of fire. And then print hazard speed. Yeah, I really don't want to spend more time on this than I need to. Like, a fancy thing to do would probably be to make these active on the screen, but I don't care enough. Also, 0. I could just set this to 0. Okay, actually, it's still going to. That's fine. It's still going to take 5 seconds, but that's fine. And on second thought, I actually don't need to. I don't need to. The player object doesn't need to even be there for the blocks to keep going. You know what? Let's just speed things up a bit. Let's just speed things up a bit. Let's just do this, and let's just do that. Sure, why not? Actually, let's just do, no. Let's just do this. And let's just make this, 1. I guess that's fine. Can I click on one before it gets destroyed? No. Insane. Completely wild. Crazy. It works. Nice. So I don't remember what it was. 5. Okay, then we got 10. Then we got, yeah, that was it. I don't know why I'm making this code neat. Whatever. Yay, it works.
Speed 13.5. Alright, let's quickly work on exporting our game. So if we go up to File, Build Settings, you can see that it's currently set to a Mac standalone build, which is exactly what I want.
I'm not actually going to do this, but
Let's go to Player Settings for some more options. Now, which is exactly what I
what
want.
was that?
Let's go to Player Settings.
Okay.
For some more options.
Resolution and other settings. Oh, wow.
Now, one thing we need to be aware of is that since we're exporting at this funny aspect ratio 3:5, we're not going to be able to allow the game to be played in full screen without doing some more advanced stuff, which I don't want to get into at the moment. So let's just disable the full screen switch. And let's also disable
Resolution and presentation. Disable allow full screen switch. Got it. Why is this starred?
enable both the is native resolution and the default is full screen. So now we can enter our own default screen width and height. So we'll make that comply with the aspect ratio, something like 600 by 1000 perhaps. So if we just build this now, we'll see that it pops up with this, it's called the resolution dialog box.
Interesting.
And our resolution isn't anywhere there.
I'm not going to need this, but like I don't need this information, but it is interesting.
If we press play now, it's not going to be playing in the correct resolution. So if we delete that, let's go back to the player settings and let's just make sure that the resolution dialog is disabled. And let's just change our product name over here. I'll call mine Falling Blocks.
Okay. Display resolution dialog. I'm assuming that's off. I'm assuming that doesn't exist anymore because
And then we can
it's
build.
an archaic feature.
And when that's done, you should open this up, and you can see it's in the correct resolution, and we can play our game. So, it didn't survive very long there. Let me have one more go at it. The difficulty seems fairly good to start off with. Just need to remember to use the screen wrap thing to my advantage. Alright, I won't bore you with endless hours of me playing, but this seems to be working very nicely. So, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, cheers! Hello, in this episode I'd like
Reference versus value types. This is just a... this is just a teaching episode. This is not actually a game development episode. So, you know, I will just watch this one right now. Sure.
like to talk about the difference between reference types and value types. Right at the beginning of the series, I introduced the built-in variable types such as ints, floats, strings, bools, and so forth. forth. Using these, we can then also create our own data types. For example, if we wanted a way to easily store a point in 2D space, we could create a custom data type containing a float x and a float. For example, if we wanted a way to easily store a point in 2D space, we could create a custom data type containing a float x and
Wait, what?
2D space, we could create a custom data type. We can then also create our own data types. For example, if we wanted a way to easily store a point in 2D space,
Then you use a vector?
we could create a custom data type containing a float x and a float y. We'd need a container for these two variables so that they're stored together, and for that we have two options, a class or a struct. Let's look at the class first. So we'd create a class called point with our two float variables inside. We'd then have a constructor so that we can set the x and y values when we create a new point. Now, elsewhere in our code, in some method, let's say we create a point A with coordinates 2 and 5. Roughly, what happens when we do this is a new object is created in the computer's memory, storing the
What? Sure. Oh, yeah. This. The funniest keyword to me. The funniest programming keyword to me for some reason. It's like this, like, it's just funny to me for some reason. And I just said for some reason like 3 times in a row. Okay, it's fine. Public float. Okay. Got it. So you're establishing the variable and then you put the variable in, and um, this is just saying that people aren't allowed to put in any other value, I guess.
the x and y values. Our variable a then stores a reference to that location in memory. This is why classes are reference types. Let's look at a reference to that location in memory. This is why classes are reference types. Let's look at the implications of this. If we create a new point b and set it equal to point a, then both variables now refer to the same location in memory. Thus, if we were to set b.x equal to 10, that value would be updated over here, and so both point a and point b would now have an x-coordinate of 10.
Really? Interesting.
What if I now write b equals new point 10, 5? Well, in that case, a new object will be created in the computer's memory, and now point b refers to that instead. Changing the coordinates of b will now no longer affect point a, and vice versa. Currently, both points have exactly the same coordinates, so what would happen if I created a bool called points are the same to store whether or not point a equals point b? Would that variable be true or false? Well, with reference types, the values don't matter. What matters is whether or not the variables are referring to the same location in memory, and currently they are not, so the bool will be false.
That's goofy, bro.
Alright, for the next experiment, let's create a void method called movePoint1UnitRight. The method takes in a single argument, a point c, and simply adds 1 to its x-coordinate. If we now call this method passing in point b, then the variable c inside the method will refer to the same location in memory as point b, and will increase its x value to 11. Now let's change the method to instead create a new point with coordinates c.x plus 1 and c.y. So now we're creating a new point.
Okay, I'm not going to look at the values. So this would equal c dot x plus 1. What? Which is not just equal 1, 0? What?
Object in memory, which only the variable c references. In this case, of course, b's x-coordinate does not change after calling.
But shouldn't there be something before this? What did he have before? C equals B?
The method coordinates will increase its x value to 11.
C dot x. Okay. He's not. establishing this. He's not saying anything equals C. Point C. Okay, whatever.
Now let's change the method to instead create a new
Oh,
point
humor.
with coordinates
Oh,
c.x
humor.
plus 1.
So B would be put in, though, is what he's saying.
1 and c.y. So now we're creating a new point object in memory, which only the variable c references. In this case, of course, b's x-coordinate does not change after calling the method. It remains at 10. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the ref keyword. If we add ref both before the parameter in our method call and before the argument in the method signature, what happens now is that any modification to the variable c inside the method will also be made to the variable b outside the method. So in this case, c gets set to a new object, and so point b will also now reference this new object. The ref
What?
keyword modification to the variable c inside the method will also
Oh, it's right here. Never mind.
be made to the variable b outside the method. So in this, any modification to the variable c inside the method will also be made to the variable b outside the method. So in this case, c gets set to a new object, and so point b will also now reference this new object. The ref keyword has one requirement, which is that the variable being passed into the method must already have been initialized. In other words, it must already have a value assigned to it. There is another keyword, out, which does the same thing as ref, but does not require the variable to have been initialized. We'll see an example of this in the next episode. Alright, so you should now have a decent idea of how reference types behave in different circumstances.
Interesting.
Let's now make our point data type into a struct instead of a class. Structs are value types, so let's see how its behavior differs. We'll make a point A once again and set its coordinates equal to 2 and 5. This time, instead of A storing the address of some other location in memory, it simply stores the x and y values itself. So now, if we create a point B, which is equal to 2 and 5, this time, instead of A storing the address of some other location in memory, it simply stores the x and y values itself. So now, if we create a point B and set this equal to point A, the values from point A are simply copied over into point B. Since each variable is always storing its own copy of the values, changing one value type variable will not be able to affect another. So in actual fact, there's no difference between setting B equal to A and simply creating a new point with the same values as A. Let's create the points are the same rule again. The equals method works differently for value types and for reference types. Here it compares the actual values of each element inside the structs to determine whether or not the two variables have equal values. Here, point A and B currently have the same values, and so our bool will be true. Now,
So why would you ever use a class? Am I like confused? Am I wrong? Am I confused here?
using the same method example of move point 1 unit right, it doesn't matter what we
This just seems much more practical, you know?
do inside the method, we won't be able to affect the original variable unless we use the ref or out keywords, in which case, just like with reference types, any modification to the variable inside the method will also modify the original variable outside the method. So that hopefully gives you a good idea of how value types behave. The last thing I want to mention is how... So that hopefully gives you a good idea of how value types behave. The last thing I want to mention is how the built-in types fit into all of this. So just about all of the built-in types are in fact structs, making them value types. One exception to this is object, which we're going to ignore for now, and the other is the string class. A string is a reference type, but it turns out that it actually behaves like a value type anyway. The reasons for this are quite interesting and good to know, but I'm going to gloss over them for the time being. For now, you just need to remember the...
What?
The reasons for this are quite interesting and good to know, but I'm going to gloss over them for the time being. For now, you just need to remember the following few things. Classes are reference types, and thus multiple variables can all reference and affect the same object. Structs are value types, and thus each variable contains its own copy of the values. The ref and out keywords can be used to force any modification made to the variable inside a method to also affect the original variable outside of that method. This is applicable to both reference types and value types. Ref requires the variable to already be initialized before entering the method, while out does not. Finally, the built-in data types such as integers, floats, chars, and bools are all value types, but string is a reference type, which nevertheless behaves like a value type. That is everything. Is a reference type, which
Huh. Reference types.
nevertheless
Sure.
behaves like a value type. that is everything for this episode. I hope it was helpful, and until next time, cheers.
Let's read the comments. Well, there you go. 1.5 years of computer science before this was cleared up. Nuts. I should just screenshot this, bro. And use it for my own purposes. And just put it on like my channel banner or something. That would be funny. Sorting algorithms. Advanced coding tips for big Unity projects. Nice. Okay.
Building your online business?
You know, do I need this? These aren't like the most annoying ads ever, actually. So I have... Oh, this is another learning one. Ray casting. Okay. So I have 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Trigonometry. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna give me a good baseline. It's gonna give me a good baseline. I'm not wasting my time, I don't think. Yeah, should be fine. All right, great. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. This is for documentation. I'm not really expecting anyone to watch these, but whatever. Thank you if you are watching, and goodbye. I will see you tomorrow.